Hey everybody, it's Kailey and Peggy again here. And today we're talking about anniversaries, specifically the 2-year anniversary of being in this pandemic. And we wanted to pause today for a moment and reflect on where SandCastles started 2 years ago and how we've come and how we've evolved through this pandemic to still continue to serve grieving families who need it most.
When we think about it, it's really quite fascinating to see what has happened in the last 2 years. And had you asked us, 2.5 years ago, if we could do what we're doing today, I don't know that anyone on our team would have been able to even visualize it. So sometimes, especially, 2 years, it feels like it's a good time to just reflect back and where are the signs of growth? Certainly, we had 7 in-person program sites running through in 3 counties in Metro Detroit. We also had a summer camp with 125 kids each year that had run all for like over 20 years. And we had it down to a science, and it was awesome and wonderful. And then in a heartbeat, in a minute, really, and I distinctly remember the minute that it all just shut down. And who would have thought that at that point in time that we could do what we've done today? So sometimes after a while, and we certainly took the time to grieve that loss, right? I think that's really important, is to honor those feelings of all that loss, but to look also at perhaps the growth and resilience. And I'm so impressed with where we have come.
Yeah, we've done a lot in the last 2 years. We've switched our entire program completely virtually. We've made that shift, so our groups are happening completely over video platforms, where the kids can still do the activities that they were doing in person, because we're delivering those activities to them thanks to a bunch of very generous volunteers, and the generous volunteers that we also have helping to run those groups as facilitators virtually. We're still able to do that bi-weekly for the kids and for the adults. And we also ran a virtual camp. So speaking of camp, we were able the last 2 years to put on SandCastles Camp completely virtually. Again, delivering the supplies to the kids so that they could participate in the tie-dye and making the memory boxes and different activities. But we ran that camp over the weekend completely virtually, and we're able to make that switch.
And it was great.
It was a lot of fun.
It was. I think the creation of our SandCastles family community element is significant, that it serves a need that we had at the moment, as well as I think it's something that's going to continue. So, and talking about this, some of this is going to continue because it's improved what our programming is. So we have our SandCastles family community, which is a space that families can jump on or join, and they don't have to be participating in our virtual groups on an ongoing basis, but maybe they just want to be part of the community. They're invited to join one-time events. Some are virtual when we can do in person, some are in person, but they're kind of family specific. And it helps because in this case, we cover such a large geographic area. When we do a virtual family event, everyone can just come from wherever onto a screen and participate as a family in the comfort of their own home. So we do family activities where they literally sit at the table as a family and do an activity together with a whole bunch of other families from all sorts of places. We've also done specific age group activities. We've done a teen grief panel. We've done a glow-in-the-dark dance party related to grief for the younger kids. And we've even done really some self-care and soul-searching adult parent retreats, because we know the health and wellness of our parents and adults caring for the kids is as important as the health and wellness of the kids, because it has a direct impact. So we're really proud of our family community component and confident that this will continue in many ways after.
Yeah, that's been a huge addition to our program in the last couple of years, and I love to see that. Another thing that I love to see and hope continues into the future are our grief and briefs. I really enjoy sitting here talking with Peggy and informing everybody about the different aspects of grief and self-care and how we're, working here at SandCastles to help grieving families. And we've also done a lot of virtual fundraisers and webinars and different events over the last year, which was kind of different at first, but we've actually brought in some new people that have never met SandCastles before through some of these virtual events. And we're able to educate, the greater community on different aspects of grief. We did some coping with the holidays kind of things and how to cope with just the pandemic in general and the grief that comes along with that. And so we've also really enjoyed being able to provide these virtual fundraisers and events that everyone can come and join us for.
They've been a lot of fun. Another element that actually has increased, we kind of always did this, but during the pandemic found really helpful to put a name to it and really help the community know that we are here for this. So we do grief consult calls. To enroll in our actual program, it has to be the parent or guardian who enrolls their children, but we know that there's so many more people out there who have questions or who are working with or caring for children in some way that are grieving. And so we want to be there for you or your neighbor or your coworker. Just know that we're there. If you have questions of any sort about how to help a grieving child, what to do, what to say, what resources are available, what books are there, whatever, please give us a call. Our calls definitely have increased in this pandemic about helping people, and that is what we are there for. The other element that has gone up too is our community education. As far as we have lots of different presentations and speaking on how to help a child in grief. This is not something that doctors or nurses or teachers or sometimes even counselors or social workers get automatically as part of their curriculum. The field isn't quite that far, but everyone should have it because grieving children are all over the place, and we all can help them on their grief journeys. So we are definitely willing to help educate anyone in the community. In essence, our mission really is that no child should have to grieve alone. And we want to be there for those kids, for those families, for those community members who are helping. We are there for you. So thank you. Thank you to all of our volunteers who are helping us do it. Thank you to all of our donors who are truly helping make this happen. And thank you to all of you for spreading the word and supporting us in this mission. Together, we will help to ensure that no child grieves alone.